What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Talktagon episode 9, and we are here today to talk about UFC London, the fight night that was this past Saturday over in London. I'm Brady, as you can tell under my name here. We also have Max. How you doing today, Max?
Yep.
We had a interesting card this week.
Yeah, dude. I picked Leon, so I was a little disappointed in his performance, but overall, I was super impressed with Sean Brady's performance. So yeah, I'm excited to break that down more later in the show. But yeah, I was a little bit shocked with how Leon looked, but I'm also really impressed at the same time with Brady. So it was kind of one where I kind of still have some questions to be answered. So I'm excited to see where Brady goes next after this, dude.
Yeah, like you said, we'll definitely talk about it later, but wow is all I can say about that main
For
event.
real. It was
Wow.
amazing. For
But yeah,
Brady, it was amazing. For
yeah,
Leon, not so
yeah,
much.
that's true. But before we get into the show today, of course, we have a sponsor, and that is Eat Shroom Bar. So, Eat Shroom Bar, protein mushroom bar. No, it's not made out of psychedelics, but it does have 4 powerful mushroom adjacents: lion's mane, cordyceps, reishi, and turkey tail, plus 12 grams of protein. So, you can go to eatshroomsbar.com, use code BODYSLAM at checkout for 25% off your first order, and we'd appreciate it. So, without further ado, let's get into the prelims. Overall, I don't want to say bad card, but I also don't want to say good card. It was a little bit of
Yeah.
both. There was some good, some bad, but the
With
prelims,
with England, you kind of expect like a good card every time, but yeah, it was kind of not as good as some of the ones in the past.
yeah, and definitely for that main event, spoiler alert, people were leaving the arena. So that just goes to show you what was going on over there. But we
Oh
did
yeah.
kick off with Co Fernandez versus Graham Kutteladze. This was not how I expected it to go at all. As you can see, we both picked Graham. Uh,
Yeah.
this was a unanimous decision, 30-27 for Fernandez. He won on all judge scorecards, and certainly not a robbery because he definitely did win. So Fernandez, he beat the leg up
Mhm.
early. Every time Graham walked forward, he paid for it. Graham was dropped twice in the first round, and then
Yeah.
round 2, much of the same. Fernandez beat him up on the feet, tore both legs up. He ended up targeting the other leg, dropped him again. Third round, again dominant, dropped him with leg kicks, and then got a takedown to end around to just cap off the win. He's dominated him, which was surprising.
Yeah.
A lot of people were shocked because Graham had the Taporias and Hamzat Chimaev in his corner, and that didn't work. Whatever he had planned did not work. Fernandez beat his ass the entire time.
Oh yeah. That was really surprising. Obviously, we both picked him, like you said, but man, I think that maybe he is getting a little old, and Fernandez showed that you cannot be coming in here, and I feel like and underestimating his opponent. Guram in the back, they were saying that he wants the belt. I'm like, whoa, you want the belt? I'm like, you're not even ranked. I'm like, maybe get back into the rankings first. I'm like one step at a time, because
Yeah, then
yeah, you
then
have
after
all the
that
team
performance,
around you. Yeah, it's like you have the team around you of champs and potential future champs, but it's like one thing at a time, especially when he's not been the most active fighter on the roster. And yeah, he did not look good in there. I'm honestly shocked that he was able to survive the entire fight. If anything, Guram's toughness was the only thing he was really displaying the entire fight. Fernandez
yeah,
was pretty much beating him up the entire time, and it became pretty much to the point where Guram was a punching bag and Fernandez was just having a workout. And it was really bad. And Fernandez just masterpiece of a performance. Like, I don't know how much better you can do without getting a finish. It's like, even if it was a finish, it would be less of a beating because that was just such a prolonged beating where Guram didn't really get going whatsoever, and Fernandez took advantage of that. That is for sure.
yeah. he had thanked his coaches and all that afterwards, and gave him some props. But as far as the performance goes, not good. Just not good. I
Yeah.
can't even sugarcoat it. It wasn't good. He did bad, and that's not to take anything from Fernandez. Fernandez did good. He did really good.
Yeah.
Graham just did bad. um,
Exactly.
but he did win again, 30-27 across the boards. So we got that wrong. Then the next one, uh, I don't think I lost, but I lost.
Yeah.
So Colin Loughran defeated Nathan Fletcher being split decision 29-28 across the board. Loughran had a nice round one, very grapple heavy, but Fletcher made a comeback in the second, stifled the grappling, even took Loughran's back and threatened to take down there, landed some good knees. Round three was close. Loughran landed some good takedowns, but Fletcher cut him open in the last couple seconds, and then Loughran took the split decision. A lot of people, including myself, thought Fletcher won that fight. But he didn't on the
Yeah.
judges' scorecards, and that's where it matters. So he did not win, but I thought he won. He won that fight, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I was definitely shocked when the decision was read, even though that it was going to be a split. I was a little surprised. And then to hear that it was not even going to go Fletcher's way at all, I'm like, wow, that's really surprising. But yeah, dude, it was a bit of a theme for this card where you can't let it go to the decisions. Otherwise, it might not go the way you're expecting. And yeah, Fletcher, unfortunate for him, I think he lost in the Ultimate Fighter, but then did he come in and win his debut? Yeah, he
Yeah.
won his debut, and then now he's lost his next fight. But I think that it was kind of one of those fights where neither guy looked amazing, but I do think that Fletcher did enough to win. But yeah, I'm interested to see how both these guys go from here, because I was thinking that I don't know if either of them are looking like they're gonna ever be ranked. But I've been proven wrong before, so prove me wrong again.
Yeah, I felt bad for Fletcher. This was like you said, a theme throughout the night, but an interesting one because usually when you're in countries and you see like the judges kind of rob people, it's
Yeah,
for their country mates. But on
yeah,
this
totally.
occasion, it was against the English, which I thought was weird. But I mean,
Yeah, I know you
I don't
do. You
know.
can't say hometown bias, that's for sure.
Yeah, because they were losing. But I definitely thought Fletcher won this though, so I took the L in
Yeah,
this one. 0-2 for me, but 1-1 for you because Lochran got the nod.
yeah. Hey, I'll take it, I guess. But yeah, I do feel bad for Fletcher.
Yeah, so first two fights kicked off with some decisions, but then we finally got a finish, which was not a theme of the night, sadly.
Yeah,
Um, Shauna Bannon versus Pooja Tamar was a fight.
dude.
The last few seconds was insane, but the first round was a fight. So I thought Shauna won round one, basically just off of sidekicks, which was weird. It was
Yeah,
like that's all she had. I don't know. I don't really know how to explain this other than she was just sidekicking her the whole time.
spamming it. Yeah,
Yeah, it was like it was like her one Mortal Kombat move, and then she just kept clicking the button. And
yeah,
then that's all. It was so strange. I've never seen anyone spam sidekicks like that. But she did land one to the face though, which is hard. She's like spamming
yeah,
to the body, and then boom, right to the face, landed it, which was nice. But then didn't follow up on it. She just kept side kicking, but it worked, I guess, because she won round one. Because Tamara didn't really do anything either.
Mhm.
Weird round. But then things got interesting. So Banan started round two the same as round one, spamming the sidekicks, and then Tamar like caught on to it
Yeah.
and was
Finally,
threatening
after
the
the 50th
takedowns.
one.
Yeah. She was like catching on to it. And then all of a sudden, she throws up a head kick, lands the head kick, nasty head kick.
Yeah,
Tamara landed a picture perfect leg kick after reading and countering, dropped Benin, but then she tried to jump on some ground and pound, and Shauna turned it into an armbar and got the submission. So,
insane.
yeah, Shauna Benan got the win via submission armbar round two in like the craziest 30-second finish I've ever seen after the strangest fight. It was so weird. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. Like
It was one of those fights where it's like you think it's about to end for one fighter, and then they end up getting finished. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, how did you fumble that? For real. Went from the head kick KO to, oh, you just got submitted. For real. That's why MMA is so entertaining. It's like you never know what can happen at any moment. We obviously do have some boring fights, but we also have super exciting moments like that where it makes it worth wanting to at least try to watch the early ones.
Yeah, I do have to shout out the referee for this though, because a lot of times after head kick like that, the ref might jump in immediately. He let it go a little bit, and look what happened. She got head kicked, but then she won. So let it go.
She clearly was in there enough,
and the whole thing might turn around. So shout out to the referee for that, but that was crazy.
Crazy comeback and great performance for the women have been showing out lately with these finishes. I'm like the last card we saw back-to-back KO, and then with this one there was not many finishes, but
this was one of them.
I think it was both women fight. There was a finish. So the last few fights, the women have been freaking finishing everyone. I'm like, okay, hey, pause. I mean, finishing in the cage.
It's been a time because there was some hate. I mean, there's always hate on women's MMA, but in the last two cards,
for real, bro, they've been showing out. I know ever since the Lemos fight, that was so boring. It's been like, okay, get that out of the system, and now
the UFC brass was in the back, like you guys gotta fucking
for real, putting a gun to their head, go for the KO,
like hurry up. Yeah, it was. Real, dude. To be fair, coming into this fight, people were hating on this fight. Like, Bannon sucks. She's not, like in the first round, not even the fight. After the first round, I saw tweets. She sucks. She's not UFC caliber. This is awful fight. Yeah, kick her out. And then she gets a finish win. So
real, dude, she looked pretty good in there for someone who got freaking rocked, and then was able to stay composed and be able to get the finish. I'm like, that takes some composure and a lot of repetitions to be able to do that while hurt.
And for someone who apparently only has 2 moves, an armbar and a side kick.
Yeah, for real. Not bad. Just wait till she rounds out the rest of her game.
We'll see. We'll see how she works. But we both picked that one. So I got my first one on the board. You're 1-2 now. Looking good.
We had first legit win. We'll take it.
Yeah, we head into Christian Leroy Duncan versus Andre Puliev, which I was excited for, but then I wasn't. This fight, I expected way more out of this fight. Christian Leroy Duncan defeated Andre Puliev via unanimous decision 30-27, 30-27, and 30-26, which was interesting. Boring round one. They just grappled against the cage the whole time. Christian Leroy Duncan started landing in the second round, but Puliev was just like staying away. Round 3, much of the same, landing some huge knees and elbows at the end that wobbled Puliev. But other than that, super boring fight, which, like I said, I didn't expect. I don't think a lot of others expected. Christian came out and said that he was excited to fight Puliev because he could finally strike with someone, and then they ended up grappling anyways. Yeah, not a fun fight, but Christian won for sure. Not a robbery, but not a fun fight.
Yeah, it was definitely not what I was expecting whatsoever. Yeah, I was expecting kind of a firefight, one of them possibly getting knocked out. But yeah, it was kind of a slow burner and ended up kind of being one-sided, but kind of boring at the same time, which is like that's the worst type of fight where it's like one guy's clearly controlling it and like doing what he wants to do, and then the other guy's just accepting it and not even trying to do anything. I'm like, it was just a bad fight. I think Puliev, he might not be in the UFC for long after that performance because that was just there's nothing to be a fan of in that performance. It's like at least Duncan got the win, but it was definitely not a fun fight, like you said.
Yeah, and we've seen in recent weeks, man, if you're putting on bad performances and you're losing, UFC has absolutely no problem cutting you. They've cut a bunch of people after these cards. Like you lose, you're on a losing streak, you show that performance, you're out. They don't care. You're gone.
That's brutal.
So, hey, this could Puliev, good luck because come Tuesdays usually you might be gone.
Yeah.
So, hey, sorry, but It is what it is, I guess. Or
We
the
got
UFC,
to
but
keep it real. We got to keep it
yeah.
real.
Christian Leroy Duncan, he did get the win though, so shout out to him. I don't want to say he looked good. I mean, I guess he looked better
Yeah.
than Pulev,
He
I
looked
guess.
better,
But
yeah. Neither guy
it
was
was
that impressed, yeah. I expected
yes,
like a knockout for if Duncan was gonna
Duncan. Yeah,
be able to control it and do well, then I figured he'd knock him out, but he seemed to be happy just to get the win. So I guess.
yeah. So far as the women who have been keeping this card alive here.
For real.
Luckily, this was not a late card for us because I don't know if
Yeah.
I can stud this. um,
Yeah. Right.
we then move on to Marcin Tybura versus Mick Parkin. As you can see, I picked Tybura. You did not. But again, similar to the Fletcher fight, I don't think this was a win for me. So Marcin Tybura won via unanimous decision, 29-28 across the board. This was a slow start again, but
Yeah.
in fairness, it was a back and forth round one. Not much
Yeah.
action, so it's hard to call, I guess. But round two was
Mm.
much more active for Parkin. He took
Yeah.
down Tybura twice and almost finished him with ground and pound. Third round, a little bit more even, but I felt like they were just so slow. Oh my God.
And they're gas. Oh
I
my
felt like they were in
God.
slow motion.
Yeah.
I said this in the third round. I think I posted it. I feel like I'm watching a fight in slow motion because it was so slow. Like they
Yeah.
were tired. They were just like, ugh. But we got a decision, and I thought for sure at least 2-1 Mick Parkin. And then he lost 29-28
Yeah.
unanimously.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
so confused about this one too.
I know, yeah.
And again, Parkin, the Englishman, loses. What the hell is going on?
Bro, the judges are not a fan of English fighters in this
Apparently
card.
not.
But yeah, it was another one of those fights where neither guy really looked amazing. So it's like you can't be that mad about it. But I'm also like, I do feel like one guy did enough to win, but
Yeah.
the judges didn't see it that way. So yeah, it's one of those fights where you just had to do more if you wanted to for sure have an outcome that you want. Because besides that second round, yeah, it was kind of up in the air where it's like, okay, I guess the judges could see 1 and 2 for Tybura, so I guess that's what it was. And Mick just didn't do enough with those first two, or those the first and third. So I think that he's going to learn a lot from this fight. Thankfully, he didn't really get hurt too bad or anything. So hopefully he can turn it around and improve from that performance, because I think he has some potential. But yeah, slightly concerning if you can't get past Tybura in 2025 for your like chances of being like a top contender like Aspinall or something.
Yeah, because Aspinall again beat Tybura here in
Yeah.
London, I believe it was. So it was.
So yeah, showing that there's levels to this still, and yeah, I thought maybe Mick could follow in his teammates' footsteps. I know he trains with Aspinall, but not this time. He's gonna have to do more to make it more decisive. Because yeah, Marcin did just enough to convince two of the judges, or actually all three of the judges, to rule in his favor. So yeah, Mick gonna have to do better. And Tybura, I'm like, give Tybura somebody up in the rankings now. He's been fighting a few of these young guys. I'm like, give him, showing that he can still get these wins if you don't put him up against these top guys. So even though he's been around for a while, he's getting up there in age. He's still showing that he can get these wins when there's not an elite proven fighter in front of him. That he's crafty, and even though it's not the most fun and aesthetically pleasing style, he was able to get it done.
Yeah, and I guess we can take this time to talk about some heavyweights, because there was a little bit of news over the weekend where Tom Aspinall, again, who helped train with Mick Parkin, he did reveal that he had a meeting with the UFC brass, and I guess we didn't really figure out how that went, but it was concerning the fight with him and John Jones. Hopefully it went well. I mean, hopefully that happens.
Yes. Hopefully he's getting a deal.
Yeah, if this fight doesn't happen, man, this sucks, because this whole heavyweight division is just like at a stalemate. Because what do? You have two titles. The champ doesn't want to fight the interim champ, and then the contenders are fighting for nothing.
Yeah, so it's like, how do you guys have two champions that have been champions for over a year,
Yeah.
both of them? I'm like, how do you have an interim champion and a champion be both have their belts for over a year? I'm like, that defeats the purpose of it. I'm like, shut the fuck up about boxing if you can't figure out your own promotion, Dana. Literally, bro. I'm like, you literally have two fucking champions
That's true.
with the UFC belt. I'm like, bro, you be talking about, oh, the boxing is broken, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you have two champions for over a year, bro. I'm like, an interim champion is not an interim champion for over a year and not fighting for the title. I'm like, what is this, dude? It is just ridiculous how mismanaged it is. And it's honestly embarrassing for the UFC to act all high and mighty like they're the best promotion in the world and they can't even freaking get their heavyweight division in order. It's so pathetic, dude. Like, get John and Tom to fight or strip one of them. I'm like, bro, and I feel like it's pretty clear who should be stripped at this point, dude. The guy who wants 6 more months to prepare after he's already been freaking ducking for almost 2 years at this point. I'm like, dude, please, dude. I'm like, you fought in one time in the last like 3 years. Please fight, John. I'm like, I'm so sick of it. I'm glad that Tom brought out the freaking duck, dude.
He did, yeah.
I'm
Tom
like-
was in the crowd and was holding a light up rubber duck. And
I'm
Tom
like
said,
saying what we all feel, bro. I'm like, oh
Tom
my-
said, he said, hey, I think it was an interview with TNT Sport. He said, if they're not going to give me Jones, let me fight. I want to fight.
that's what I'm
at least
saying.
he wants to fight somebody.
Exactly.
then
Jones fans will be like, Tom isn't fighting anyone either. I'm like, what do you want him to do? He's supposed to be fighting for the championship because he has the interim belt, bro.
Yeah,
I'm
and
like,
then
what do you mean?
And then even if who's he supposed to fight if not John right
Yeah.
now?
Exactly. It's like, bro.
And I
It's
think maybe
like-
that's what John wants, to be fair. I think he might
Yeah.
want Tom to fight someone else, lose, and then he has the easier win against
Yeah.
whoever beats Tom. But I just don't think no one beats Tom.
Yeah.
So just
exactly.
fight Tom.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Please
It's
fight Tom.
frustrating.
It's
It's
so
definitely
annoying, dude.
frustrating.
I'm like, once I saw that it was over a year that Tom has been interim champion, I'm like, all right, this is just getting ridiculous, bro. I'm like, how do you have an interim champion for more than 365 days? I'm like, bro, it's just embarrassing.
Yeah, it's not the best.
Bro, and Dana, for real, I heard that Dana might be leaving the UFC, dude. They're like, do you think that you're gonna need to like pass down the torch? And he was like, yeah, you'll find out this year. I'm like, we'll find out this year, all right. So maybe he really is leaving.
Yeah, I saw a report last night that his contract is actually up.
Bro,
soon.
dude, and he's going into
Into
boxing.
2025.
Very
Now, do
interesting.
I do think that he doesn't leave. I do think that.
Yeah,
But will his
That'd be
role
crazy.
become lesser? Maybe.
yeah. I'm interested to
maybe-
see what this new deal is. If they're going to Netflix, like everyone says, or what.
I hope. I do
That'd be
hope.
crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, freaking
Bunch of-
heavyweight did not get any better after this fight. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's true. But we did have a fun fight up next, though.
Now
was
this
good.
one was awesome.
Yeah, this was
This
a
is
really
what I'm
fun
talking
fight.
about.
Loner Kavanaugh versus Felipe dos Santos. This was Kavanaugh win via unanimous decision 29-28 all. First round, close round, but the second round was insane. So both of them were just going crazy. Kavanaugh was cut up pretty bad. He had a cut in his hairline and he was bleeding like really, really badly. Like the guy was
Yeah.
like, his whole face was just full of blood. Still, he took the round though.
Yeah, that was
Some crazy
insane.
pressure, nice landing shots. Round 3 saw a lot of grappling from Kavanaugh, but Felipe had a fence grab twice, 2 up kicks, elbow to the spine, and was never called for a point taken. I don't know what was
Yeah.
going on. He had like 5 fouls, and the ref never called one of them. He warned him, but he never stopped the action and was actually like hard warning or even point taken. Crazy. But regardless,
Yeah.
the fight was fun though. Like they were just going back and forth on the feet. Again, Kavanaugh was just covered in blood. And then he did get the win though. So he got cut, but he did way better. So shout out to him. This fight
Yeah.
was awesome.
That fight was just ferocious, dude. It was like some of the strikes that Kavanaugh was throwing was just so fast and so hard that I'm honestly very impressed that it went all the way 3 rounds because there was some hard shots being landed, honestly, by both guys. But yeah, so shout out to these guys, excuse me, for really bringing the card up a bit because I was like, dude, this card, like you said, is a bit boring. even though this one was a decision, it was actually a really exciting fight, and you could tell, even though it didn't go to the finish, that they were trying to go for the finish because, oh my gosh, some of those strikes were just so ferocious, and they were going for damage, that is for sure. But yeah, dude, Kavanaugh. I'm pretty hype about him, dude. He's now won his Dana White Contender Series by that crazy KO, won his debut, and now he won his second fight. So now 2-0 in the UFC, 3-0 on all of their promotions combined. So I'm really excited for this kid, dude. He's freaking short guy. He's only 5'4", but man,
He
he's
is small.
freaking ferocious. I'm like literally like a little pit bull in there for real, dude. Like once those bell goes off, he's ready to go, man. And you could tell he was locked in for that fight. The blood didn't bother him at all. If anything, he seemed to like power him up because, dude, he did not seem tired. And I was watching with my brother, and he's like, all that blood. I'm like, hopefully he doesn't like freaking gas out or something. I'm like, I feel like he's like loving it, dude. It seems like he's having fun in there. I'm like, this dude is definitely a fighter's fighter for real.
Yeah, I thought this was a potential, or for sure would win fight of the night. They did not give out a fight of the night bonus, so
Yeah,
it didn't get it.
Yeah, I'm like,
we only got performance bonuses, and we got one performance bonus on the prelims, which was Bannon. She got it, but that was it.
yeah, I know. I don't know why they haven't been doing that. I'm like, fight of the night, at least it gives the loser some extra money too. And I feel like it incentivizes guys to go hard even if they're not doing well. It's like, at least I might get a fight of the night bonus if it's a war.
For sure.
Even if I don't win. But it's like now it seems like you can only get a bonus if you're the winner. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, this was a weird card, and I thought this one was fight of the night, but they didn't get it. But yeah, we both picked Kavanaugh, so 4-2 for me.
Let's go.
At this point, 4-2 for you. We're tied here,
speaking
but
speaking of snoozer, this next one.
Yes, so Jai Herbert wins a split decision, or no, he didn't. Chris Padilla won. I fell asleep during this fight.
Well, this was a robbery of the
legitimately.
Fans.
So I mentioned I messaged Max and I told him, I said, I genuinely fell asleep during this fight, which I did. I'm not joking. I never fall asleep during fights ever, even if it's boring. But I was sitting there and I was a little bit of the first round, and the next thing I know, I'm waking up to the decision. I don't know what happened. So you're gonna have to explain what went down because I don't know.
It was honestly not much at all, bro. I'm like, there was really a whole lot of just standing in front of each other and barely. It's like, let me see. The first round, 3 strikes landed for Herbert and 9 for Padilla in the first round. Next round, okay, so they combined for 11 strikes landed in the first round. I'm like, how is that even possible? 11 strikes in 5 minutes? I'm like, what are you guys doing, dude? And then the next round. 20 total strikes landed. Jai had 7 and Padilla had 13, bro. I'm like, this is the worst fight I've ever watched in my life, dude. Literally, I'm like, Herbert had 10 strikes landed in 2 rounds, dude. I'm like, you're landing 1 strike per minute, dude. There's not much to break down. I'm like, I understand someone had to be announced a winner, but I wouldn't not have been mad if they just said freaking draw. That was unscorable. It was like the last round was the only round that anything really happened, and it was honestly more of Herbert pushing the pace. But yeah, I think that Padilla just freaking did just enough in the first 2 rounds, even though it was so boring to win. And then, yeah, I'm like, it was just awful fight, dude. It was like the last round was the only round where anything somewhat landed, but even then, it was like the last like minute, and that by then, neither guy was gonna get hurt in the last minute, because they hadn't been barely touched the entire fight. So yeah, this was definitely the worst fight of the night, and that's saying something because there was a lot of boring fights. Like, it's like I honestly only remember the last like minute where they both kind of started going hard, but it was so boring, dude. It was like I think Herbert kind of barely got wobbled a little bit, and then Herbert kind of also landed something. I think it might have been a kick, but yeah, dude, it was just such a boring fight. I kind of zoned out as well.
Well, I'm glad I I missed it then. Cause
Yeah, bro. It was literally nothing happening. And I didn't even know what was going to happen with the decision because I'm like, neither guy did anything except for the last 30 seconds. And they both kind of landed. So I'm like, that was awful.
Yeah,
I feel like that one should have just been a draw. You guys are both out of the UFC after that.
I woke up to Bruce Buffer yelling, and I was like, "Oh shit, what happened?"
For real, dude. He's pretty loud, so I understand.
So I went 4-3 here. You went.
I'll take the win. But yeah, dude, it's like Padilla and then Lofring. I'm like, both of them were slightly suspects for me to get wins on. So hey, I was definitely counting my blessings on these prelims for real, dude. I was like, these prelims are definitely. I definitely didn't feel like I did good, but then I looked at it and I was like, I guess I did 5-2. Okay.
Yeah,
not
it was.
it was just not good.
Yeah, it was not.
Only one finish.
That's surprising. Yeah.
One finish. And then some questionable decisions as well. And then one freaking complete boring fight where no one did anything.
But then the main card started.
Yeah, at least we had some finishes in the main card. More than one.
So here we go for our main card. We kick off with Nathaniel Wood versus Morgan Shire. And this was not, again, what I expected to happen. So it was 30-27 all. Wood dropped Morgan in the first, landed some ground and pound. Morgan turned it into grappling, get on top for the rest of the round. In the second round, 2 and 3 were both competitive, but it felt like Morgan, he couldn't quite get in the second gear. He, I don't know. He just, usually we see this guy, well, as so far, we've seen him come out and really finish people early. And this one, he felt like he was just a little bit off. And Nathaniel was just a tiny step ahead the entire time. And again, he dropped him in the first round, and maybe that just, I don't know, took him off guard or something. And then Nathaniel really dominated the rest of the time.
Yeah, I was super impressed with Wood, dude. We've kind of seen him have a bit of an up and down career in the UFC where he kind of came in pretty hot. He won his first 4, but then he lost 2 of his next 3, and then he won 3 more, but then he lost to Naimov. But now he's back to winning 2 in a row. So hopefully he can get a nice win streak going because I think he has the talent. It's just more of the consistency where he'll have these nice streaks, but then he'll take 2 steps forward, 1 step back. So I think that after this performance on a main card of a hometown event, I think that this is huge for his momentum because he looked really good in there. And like you were saying about Morgan, we've seen him do really well. And we both obviously picked him, so we predicted Shire to win. And Wood honestly made it look like he was just levels ahead the entire time where all of his striking was better. He was doing everything just a little bit better. And Morgan was never really able to get going enough to get Wood out of a rhythm. It was like Wood was in a rhythm pretty much the entire fight, landing these big strikes. Morgan's a tough dude, but yeah, I definitely agree with the decision. All 3 rounds for Wood totally sweep them. Even though Morgan was somewhat trying, it just was not enough.
Yeah, and Morgan was talking up the whole week. He even dropped a trailer for the fight that he was going to knock him out. He was going to finish him. He went on Ariel Helwani and said he was going to finish him early. And that is not what happened at all. At all. He didn't.
Yeah.
At no point did it look like he was going to finish him. Nathaniel Wood did very well here.
Started out good, and once he got the drop, I was like, this might be going badly. And for the rest of the fight, he just never slowed down. Never slowed down.
Yeah, so shout out to Nathaniel Wood. Very, very good here. Again, 30-27 across the board. Dominated all 3 rounds. So shout out to him. Then we moved on to another loss for us.
Yep.
Here with Chris Duncan defeated Jordan Vucinic via submission and guillotine via guillotine in round 2. A very, very slick knockout or knockdown from Duncan in 1, where he went for a body kick and landed it, but then immediately threw a punch. Body kick punch, and he dropped him. It was awesome. And
it was.
Then Duncan kind of got on top of him, grappled him for the rest of the round. I expected this to be a grappling match because Vucinic has some nice submissions too. But then in the second, some good grappling positions for Vucinic. He did cut Duncan a little bit, but then Vucinic went for a takedown, and when he jumped in for the takedown, Duncan just grabbed the neck and
For real.
got the 15 for the win. He put himself right in the submission, and Duncan took it and got it.
Yeah, I'm impressed with Duncan, dude. I was definitely a little bit worried for him coming into this fight. I was honestly feeling good about the pick, Vucinic, but man, Duncan showed that, hey, dude, I'm was 3-1 coming into this fight in the UFC. Vucinic, I don't think he's won a UFC fight yet. He just lost to Guram, and that loss is not aging well.
It's poorly, really poorly.
Yeah, at first I was like, oh, he lost to Guram. That's a tough fight, so no shame in that. But how Guram looked tonight or earlier in this card, I was like, okay, maybe that loss is bad. I'm like, because he looked awful. So I'm like, if that was the same Guram that Vucinic lost to, I was like, this might not be as good of a pick as I originally thought. And yeah, Duncan just looked amazing out there. And right when he saw the finish was there, locked it up right away, dude. And training at American Top Team clearly has been paying off because he's been looking really good ever since.
Yeah, and he did not get a bonus for this fight.
Yeah,
despite calling out that he wanted a bonus, he didn't get it. And there was 4 bonuses given and 4 finishes, but this finish didn't get a bonus.
Yeah, for real. I'd be like, yeah.
And then after, also, so strange. This was weird because coming into the fight, it was the loser gets the other's nickname tattooed on their butt. And then after the fight, they asked Duncan about it. He said, "Don't believe in the fake media." Bruh, he said it. He said it at media day. This is his idea. And he won. So
he's like, fake news.
Literally, he said,
fake news, guys.
Loser gets the other one's tattooed. He didn't even lose. Jordan lost. And then he said fake news, bruh. He said it. So how's it fake news? What the fuck is he talking about?
Bro, somehow, despite only getting hit 16 times, somehow got concussed. I'm like, do you not remember? I'm like, bro, I was so confused when he said that too. I was like, wait, what? I'm like, I swear that I thought that was at the presser. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, it was.
I'm like, what? For real, dude. So that was definitely a little strange. I wanted to see the butt tattoo. Come on, bro.
You better still do it.
Come on. If you have any freaking balls, I'm like, dude, just get it covered up after, dude. I'm like, you have so much.
No one's going to see it. It's on his ass. No one's ever going to see that.
No one's going to see it. Come on. Unless you post it online, bro.
Yeah. But Duncan did look good. He called
no proof unless he posts it.
100%. Yeah, Duncan looked good. He called for a bonus after, didn't get the bonus, so sucks to suck.
For a poor Duncan, dude. The disrespect.
Then we move on to the next fight, which was something. It was something. Alexia Thainara defeats Molly McCann via first round submission. You picked Alexia. I did not. I didn't see this coming at all, especially not how it happened. So Alexia took Molly down in round 1. They grappled a little bit. Molly tried for an armbar, failed. Then Alexia turned it around, locked in a rear naked choke, and got the win in round 1. I was shocked at how easy she locked this in and then made Molly tap. Very shocked. She danced her way to the cage. There was a lot of chatter online, people hating her for dancing to the cage, saying, oh my God, she's going to lose. This. And then she won. Yep. So that aged terribly. So
shut up the haters.
Yeah. And then after the fight, which was the, I guess, newsworthy point, Molly McCann retired. She said if she so Alexia came in on like 10 days notice, less than 10 days notice, and beat her. And she said, if someone can come in like that and beat me, then I'm just not going to hang around for a paycheck and I will be retiring. So she retired. It's good she did, because like I told Max, I think she would have got cut if she didn't retire.
Yeah. That cracked me up, dude. Yeah.
So, she retired. And Patty Pimblett was in the crowd. He was crying a little bit. So,
yeah, dude. Molly McCann, always is an entertaining fighter. You won't be able to say that she didn't put on fun fights.
Yeah.
Definitely sad to see her go, but yeah, I feel like it might have been the right call. It's one of those things, fighting's one of those things where if you're not fully into it, you're probably not going to go too well. And I think she's had some stuff outside of the UFC that she has going for her, some businesses, and I think she's gotten everything that she needs out of it, that she wants out of it. So at that point, there's no need to keep putting yourself in harm's way. And yeah, especially where, like you said, she was saying how this is a short notice fight and the lady kind of ran through her pretty easily. So I think that sad, but necessary. And I'll always remember those crazy spinning back elbows because those are absolutely insane, dude. So shout out to Molly McCann, absolute legend. But yeah, also shout out to Alexia for putting on a great performance on short notice. And I think she could be a face that we see in a ranked fight pretty soon. I mean, I don't see why not. I mean, after that, didn't take much damage, throw her right back in there. I mean, clearly she doesn't care if it's on short notice or not. So
yeah, and Alexia was one that got a bonus, so she was the second bonus of the night. Both women got bonuses, so
and got the finish for real.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Pretty
Real,
cool.
Bro. These last few cards, dude, the ladies are going for the kill
early too, like really
real.
early. So shout out to them for that.
Bro,
but yeah,
we can't get a freaking KO on this whole card, but the ladies can get some submissions.
yeah, we got all submissions actually. Yeah, that's right.
No TKO or KO, all card, dude. Crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. We then moved on to the return of Kevin Holland versus Gunnar Nelson. And Kevin
Yes,
Holland
bro.
got the win via unanimous decision 29-28. I will say, before I say anything else, that I picked Kevin Holland to win this fight, but I strongly had to debate with myself whether to pick Kevin Holland or not.
Bro, me too. Me and Brady have been burned many times.
Yeah, Kevin Holland has screwed us over so many times. Every time I think Kevin Holland, easy win, got this, he loses. This time, I thought, hey, Gunnar Nelson can grapple. You never know. But I still went with Holland for one more time, and he got the win for us. So shout out to Kevin Holland. But this was a fantastic performance from Kevin, too, though. Good grappling in the first. Holland locked in a omoplata, but then Gunnar picked him up and stood up with him on his arm. He's like holding him like a purse. It was crazy.
Yeah. Bro, Kevin is so skinny for his height, bro.
For real. And he ended up slamming him down. Holland dropped and nearly finished Nelson in the first round. Like, it was so close. Like, by the buzzer, he got a wobbling. So in round 2, he showed off some solid takedown defense, but then eventually Gunnar Nelson got him down. But then Kevin did amazing striking off of his back. It was like 26 strikes to 8, and Kevin was on his back. And I was like, holy shit, he's beating his ass. And he's gotten a knock from his back before when he knocked out Jacare. So nothing new to him. In the third round, Holland dominated in the striking. Nelson did lock in an arm triangle, but Kevin, it was tight too, I thought. And Kevin got
I thought he was about to tap.
Yeah, it was very, very close, but he got out of it, and then he ended up riding out round 3 on in the grappling. So Kevin Holland looked really good with the grappling, especially against Gunnar Nelson. Yeah. And he said that hey, Kevin said after, I'm a good grappler, but those guys up at 85 are just too big to grapple. He said, if someone wants to strike with me, I'll go to 85, but if you want to wrestle, I'll stay at 170, which I thought was funny. But I do think that he should stay at 170, 100%. After that performance,
I agree.
Stay down.
I'm like, he clearly, his style just matches up better against those guys where he's not going to get ragdolled. I'm like, there's a reason why you can make 170, dude. I'm like, do you think Drickus can make 170? I'm like, fuck no. I'm like, these middleweights are at middleweight because they can't make 170, dude. I'm like, if they could, I'm sure they would. I'm like, I feel like he just needs to lock in and just focus on being a welterweight fighter because he's definitely the best at that weight. I know he doesn't seem to care about winning a belt anymore, but I still want to see him get some ranked opponents. And bro, Kevin Holland title run, I'd still love to see it, even though I don't know if he would want to see it, but I would.
Yeah, I don't think he would. Um,
He doesn't like the 5-rounders, bro.
yeah.
Bro,
But yeah,
even
good
in this
performance.
fight, he said how he was like, I was so tired. He's like, I'm like, bro, you barely got hit at all. I'm like, you were doing good in
Oh,
that
he got
fight. I'm
mangled.
like,
You must have the worst cardio
for
of all
real.
time.
I was like, he was like, how are you keeping this up to Gunner? I'm like, Gunner has landed less than 10 strikes. I'm like, he's definitely doing good on the like somewhat controlling you, but I'm like, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So shout out to Kevin. Finally got the win, bro. I was
Yeah.
worried picking him as well. I'm like, me and Brady have been very much, unfortunately, picked Kevin at the wrong times. And this time, thank God, we stuck with him, and he paid back our loyalty with a win. So shout out to Kevin. Stay at 170, and title run starts now.
If you go up to 185, I'm not picking you.
Yeah, that's real. That just might have to be the rule, for real.
Yeah.
170
It's the
Kevin,
weight
I'll
class.
pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, shout out
Exactly.
to
It
Kevin
seems to
Holland.
be how it works.
Kevin was the third to get a performance. So instead of Chris Duncan getting that finish, they gave it to Kevin Holland. So Kevin Holland got the performance bonus for the fight. So
It was
there
definitely
you
an
go.
entertaining fight, so I understand why.
Yeah, for sure. One of the more entertaining of the entire card. So
Yeah.
there you go. Then we move on to the co-main event. 2 light heavyweights, where the light heavyweight division right now is a little bit up in the air, especially after Alex Pereira lost to Magomed Ankalaev, and it looks like that rematch is going to happen. So everyone's basically just fighting for who's next, and this could be one of them. But interesting performance. So Carlos Ulberg defeated Jan Blachowicz via unanimous decision, 29-28 across the board. This was a kickboxing bout in round 1. Just straight up kickboxing, more kick heavy than anything. Just trading back and forth. It was hard to call. Round 2, much of the same. Again, super kick heavy, just kicking each other in the legs. Jan's leg was beat the hell up, and then Ulberg's eventually started to get beat up too. Round 3, again, point fight. Just a point fight. This was so close that I thought Ulberg won, but I was like, I wouldn't call it a robbery if Jan won. And then Ulberg won. So Ulberg got the win. I did see people saying it was a robbery for Jan, but it was just so close. It was like a point fighted boxing match where it's just like, it's so hard to call these, right? Because especially in the UFC, what are you looking at when you're judging? Yeah. Because with UFC judges, they're all over the fucking place. It's more damage. It's more damage. It's pressure. It's this and that. Where in boxing, like it's more of actually point fighting, where you're trying to win all points. You're trying to get your jabs in to get a point, to get this, to get that. It's not really that in the UFC, but then they fought like it was. So it was so close. I thought Ulberg maybe did a little more damage, so I gave it to him off that. I don't know, but I wasn't mad at it though.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't mad at the decision. I thought it could go either way, but yeah, I'm like, I wouldn't be mad either way. But yeah, with this fight, I still have a lot of questions about Ulberg. I'm like, I don't know if that was the best Jan we've seen. I'm like, he was coming off a few year layoff after having some surgeries on his shoulder.
Yeah.
So I feel like Jan looked a little slower than normal. I mean, he's never like super explosive and fast, but I feel like he was even the footwork and like he just looked a little slower than we've seen him in the past. But Ulberg definitely looked really athletic, and his footwork was really impressing me. Just how he was able to control the range pretty much the whole fight, and he was able to really just point his way, like you said, to a win. So that definitely takes a lot of skill to do, but also it's not exactly the most fan-friendly sort of fighting. But yeah, I think that he did just enough to get the win. Will I think that'll be enough to be like a title sort of contender fight? I'm like, no. I'm like, you'll probably need to get another win. He's like, I want the title next. I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, you're gonna have to wait for a while with that rematch.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know if they'll even give you it even if there wasn't a rematch. So I think he needs to get one more win. And then, hey, I have no problem with him fighting for the title if he can beat another top contender, because it's like we have Yuri, we have obviously Ankalaev and Pereira, and then it's kind of up in the air, and I'm like, I feel like he could definitely fill that role and be another contender for that division. But I am a little concerned. I'm like, I still don't think he's as tested as I would like, where his best wins are Manifield, Ozdemir, which is his most recent one besides this one, which is like Ozdemir. I'll take that as a good win, but I'm like, he didn't look amazing in that fight either. It was another kind of close fight. And then this Jan fight was also pretty close. So I haven't really seen him like dominate anyone at the top level where I'm like Manifield. I don't really consider that top level of that division. So yeah, I definitely want to see him fight one more good contender. And if he gets that done, then I can't say anything else. And Olberg, get him in there.
Yeah.
Phil, he would definitely reminds me of just like a bigger Adesanya. I mean, that city kickboxing style where they leg kick heavy, lots of footwork, but they like to counter. If you do overextend, they will try to punish you. So it's definitely a tricky style to figure out because you're like, oh, I want to crash in, but then they're also looking for the counter. Maybe I'll stay back, but then they're like, okay, I'll leg kick you all day and just get the decision. So yeah, he's going to be a tough puzzle to crack, but I do think that it could be a tough matchup for him once he fights those top of the top guys.
Yeah, I'll just be honest. I know it's easier said than done, especially in my position as a viewer and not actually in there as a fighter, especially not in there across from Jan.
Yeah.
But Carlos Holberg needed a finish, needed a finish here. And I don't mean that as for to win. I mean that as he don't deserve a title shot.
Yeah.
Why should he get a title shot over someone who, like Yuri, who just finished the former champion in Jamal Hill?
Yeah.
Why? Why
yeah, exactly.
why should he be next to get a title shot over a rematch from Alex Pereira, who dominated everyone else? So in this division, and in any division, to be fully honest, these fighters need to start looking for finishes and having impressive wins if you want to get a title shot. Because I'm tired of these guys. I'm so tired of these guys grappling to a finish and having a boring fight and going, I just won my 18th fight in a row. I need a title shot. But the 18 fights you won were all by decision. And it's like, bro, you need to be more entertaining. Because at the end of the day, yes, this is a sport. Yes, this is about winning, but it's also about entertainment. And
totally.
Look at how absolutely boring Magomed Ankalaev versus Alex Pereira was.
Yeah.
So boring. And I don't think Dana or the UFC or the fans want another main event title fight like that. We don't. Yeah. I don't. So,
especially with guys that big, where it's like, they can get the knockout pretty much at any time if they actually start swinging.
So my thought process here is Alex and Magomed Ankalaev sadly have to have a rematch. Hopefully it's not as boring as the first one, but I'm going to say they have to have a rematch. In the meantime, Carlos Holberg versus Yuri Prochazka should be the title eliminator.
Yeah, easy fight to make. It's like I kind of feel bad for Yuri for not getting the title right away, but I'm like, you can't be mad at the champion getting the title shot instead of you, or the ex-champion who just lost it after he already beat you twice. Yeah. So it's like you can't really be mad at that. So
if you want a title, not only for Holberg too, but for Yuri, you want a title fight. You beat Jamal Hill, but you lost Alex twice. So go out there and kill the next contender, which is Holberg, and then you get the title fight. On the flip side, for Holberg, go out there and kill the guy who just beat a former champion, and then you get a title fight. But you got to go out there and get a finish. You got to make it impressive, because otherwise, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe you either got to get a finish or make it dominant enough where people won't be saying Jan should have won. It's like.
Yeah, and here's a prime example of this. Alex beat why am I blanking on his name? Bald. Tattoos. Roundtree. He beat Roundtree, but the fans loved Roundtree so much after that fight. That Roundtree now has another big fight coming up. And if he wins that one, he could be next. So Holberg and Yuri has to go out there and they have to put on a performance to prove that Roundtree does not deserve it next. So it's all these guys basically fighting for who's next, but one of them has to be more entertaining. You just have to be.
Yeah.
Because with so many contenders, only one can stand out. So be the one.
Yep.
Otherwise, if this, for instance, if this Allberg versus this Jan fight was for next time a contender, nobody would want to see Allberg get that fight. No one.
Nobody. Yeah. 100%.
Especially against a Magomed, because then it would be even more boring, to be fully honest.
Yeah, 100%. It'll be leg kicks and then some hugging
Grappling.
on against the cage. That's about it.
Yeah. So again,
the leg kick war.
One of these guys has to stand out, and I don't. This isn't towards Yuri because I feel like Yuri is one of the more entertaining fighters of the division.
Yeah.
But he's going to have to finish Allberg if that was the fight to make.
Yeah, especially if Alex wins. If Alex loses again, then I understand giving him the title shot, but because he hasn't fought Ankalaev yet. But if Alex wins, then it's like we've already seen what happens, unfortunately, when Alex fights Yuri. So we don't need to see that again.
Yeah. And the same goes for the next division because things are up in the air here, but Sean Brady. Sean freaking Brady.
Sean Brady, dude.
So I'll start off by saying Bilal Muhammad has now defeated both Sean Brady and Leon Edwards.
Both sons just fought it out.
Now, he did not finish Leon Edwards, but he did finish Sean Brady on the feet, which is crazy.
Yeah. In like round 2, for real. That was crazy.
Insane. But Sean Brady might have had a better performance against Leon than
dude, I would say yes.
Bilal Muhammad did.
Yes.
So Sean Brady picks up the win via submission guillotine round 4 in this fight. Round 1 was a little bit back and forth with the strikes. Sean Brady, hey, shout out to him. Not the best striker in the division, but clearly he's working on something because
he was actually landing.
Yeah. Then Sean Brady got a takedown. And that was it for the round 1. Then round 2, he did it again. And Leon just struggled he had a body triangle.
Round 2.
He just
he instantly took him down, bro. I'm like, oh my God.
That body triangle, when that body triangle was locked in, Leon could not get out. He was struggling. But then when Brady got on top, Sean almost had a Kimura, but Leon did get out of it.
Yeah. That was a crazy one.
Sean Brady continued some ground and pound. Leon survived, though. And then in round 3, this is not a mistake. Leon Edwards went for a takedown.
For real. What was
Leon Edwards went for a takedown on Sean Brady. I'm going to repeat it one more time.
After getting controlled for 4 minutes and 57 seconds.
Edwards went for a takedown on Sean Brady. And it did not go well.
Shocker.
He went for a takedown and failed immediately. He shot for the takedown and Sean Brady just jumped right on his back. It was done. And then it allowed Sean to take control, end up on top for the rest of the round. And then in round 4, Sean came out, pressed Leon against the cage on the feet, took him down, and finished the fucking thing with a guillotine immediately in round 4.
For real.
Mounted him, guillotine, tap out. Easy work for Sean Brady. He won all 4 rounds. Obviously, it didn't go to the judges, but he won all 4 rounds and then got a finish. That's how you beat a former champion right there, guys. Allberg, Jan, Yuri. That's how you beat a former champion.
Real. That's how you get the fans demanding a title shot, where it's like, even if like maybe there's other contenders, it's like, bro, it's hard to argue when you put on that sort of performance against the former champion. It's like literally hard to argue, bro. I'm like, it's like,
not only that, short notice, Sean Brady.
Literally, bro. So it's just crazy, bro. I'm like, that fight was just really impressive for me in many ways. First of all, in round 1, I was like, okay, Leon's doing pretty decent on the feet, but I'm like, Brady's actually hanging in there on the feet. I'm like, okay. I'm like, that's not a good sign. I'm like, at least he hasn't been taken down yet. Oh, he gets taken down. I'm like, okay. I'm like, hopefully next round he can keep it on the feet and keep his distance. Next round starts, round 2. Brady gets him taken down in the first 3 seconds of the fight. I'm like, of the round. I'm like, okay. I'm like, maybe next round Leon will be able to keep it on the feet and keep his distance. Oh, Leon shoots for a takedown the next round. I'm like, what is going on? It kept getting worse and worse, bro. And then he's on his back for another entire round, bro. I'm like, bro, the entire fight, he was on his back. And then by the time it was the fourth round, he literally had no energy left. And Brady's like, well, this freaking finish you. I'm like, all right, for real, dude. Brady
Leon was defeated.
Literally, bro. I'm like, in that round 2, bro, it was literally 4 minutes and 57 seconds of control time. No strikes landed for Leon. I'm like, he successfully did nothing for 5 minutes, bro. And Brady was just successfully beating his ass. I'm like, oh my God, bro. It's like when in the NBA, a role player comes in and does nothing. I'm like, that's what I felt like Leon was doing, bro. Just fucking watching everything happen. I'm like, bro. And then he started like going for the takedown. I'm like, all right, it's over. Once he shot that takedown, I'm like, okay, it's wrapped.
His coach needed that bully speech in this fight.
For real,
Sean Brady
bro.
was bullying him. And
don't let him bully your son.
We talked about it. This isn't Kamaru Usman. This isn't Colby Covington. This is a fully different wrestling style from Sean Brady than those guys. Yeah. You saw Leon Edwards null the grappling of Colby Covington, who is an All-American wrestler. You saw Leon do decent enough against the wrestling of Kamaru Usman and even took his back. But you did not see him do anything to Sean Brady because Sean Brady's wrestling is blanket, heavy blanket. Yeah. He's going to lay on you. First of all, he's short, but he's stocky as hell.
Yeah.
He's going to lay on you and ground and pound you. He's not just going to lay there. He's going to work you. He's going to punch you. He's going to elbow you.
Cool.
Then
until he finds
he's
a
going to take
submission.
your back. Yeah, exactly. He's going to work for that submission, and that's what he did. And that's why I believe, Magomed, that yes, he grappled the entire time, but fans didn't find it boring because of that, because he was actually working, because he was looking for the submission, because Leon,
he was ground and pounding for real,
just null and void anything Leon tried to do, anything, even on the feet, which is crazy.
Yeah,
it's insane to think that Sean Brady beat out Leon in the striking because Leon could not get anything off. He was so worried about that takedown.
Exactly. Leon landed 23 total strikes, and 20 of them were in round 1. And it's like after round 1, it was over. It was like,
what was Sean Brady's strike count?
It was 19-20. Leon had one more than him, but then got controlled like for half the round. Jesus. So for real, Brady just straight freaking destroyed him, dude. I did not see that coming at all. I thought Leon was going to be motivated and willing to prove a point, but dude, clearly Brady was right about him being distracted, about worrying about Bilal too much, because
100%.
Brady was like, "Oh, I'm focused on you." Clearly,
as you can see, I dominated Leon Edwards
for real.
Because
it's done.
I went with Brady. Brady went with Brady because I saw. Okay, first of all,
Brady connection.
Leon Edwards, yes, he beat. I don't even hate Leon Edwards. Actually, I'm a fan. But he beat Kamaru Usman. But when it came to the grappling, it wasn't easy. And I knew that Sean Brady, maybe a hot take, has better grappling than Kamaru Usman. So if he were to get Leon down, how would it go? This is what I expected, and that's what happened. He couldn't get up. He just couldn't. And like I told you, this possibly could have been a completely different fight if Leon Edwards did not go for the takedown. Why the fuck did he do that? Why did he do that? He could have he could have stayed on the feet at least a little bit longer to get out of that round. He could have kept his distance and maybe had some success striking. He had a little bit of success. He gave Sean a little bit of a black eye. But why did you go for that takedown? Because it was immediate, and then you got controlled the entire round. What the hell? I'd love to know his game plan because that was awful.
For real, bro. It was just so confusing, dude. I'm like, he must have just not seen a way. He must have not been liking the striking, bro. That's all my only explanation I can say is he must have not liked the pressure that Brady was bringing on the striking, because he was much improved than what we've seen him in the past with the striking, where it's not the prettiest striking, but he was having much more pressure and actually landing some combos that were definitely getting Leon's attention. So I think he must have just been overwhelmed and just freaking panic shot. I'm like, I don't know any other explanation than he was just overwhelmed and wanted to get him to stop punching him. because I'm like, no other explanation that I can find because you do not want to go to the ground with Sean Brady. It's
Yeah,
like not a good idea. This guy's beat Craig Jones in a grappling match. I'm like, bro, this guy is major grappler.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on.
And Bilal Muhammad was talking shit the entire time.
Oh yeah.
And he was like, he wants to quit. Leon wants to quit. He's going to make excuses. What's the time over there? Like, he was just going in on him. But
he was having a great hate watch.
But hey, hate watch all you want. Sean Brady did better than he did.
Yeah.
So now I want to see that rematch. Obviously, it's not going to be for a little bit, maybe, because Bilal Muhammad now has to fight and beat
Jack Della. Yeah.
Jack Della Maddalena. That's not going to be easy for him.
Yeah.
But if he does, Sean Brady should be next up, I think.
Yeah, it's I know it's tough between him and Shavkat, but like I said about, like you were saying actually, about how that dominating performances, I'm like, I feel like that win is more valuable than beating Ian Gary, you know? It's like
barely beating Ian Gary, too.
Barely beating Ian Gary, where it's like, yeah, Ian Gary's good, but we don't know if Ian Gary is championship level. We know Leon, at least at one point, was championship level, and Brady made it look absolutely easy. And now people are going to be demanding, like I said, he gets a title shot, because when you put on those performances, the fans want to see that sort of fighter in the championship fights. It's just as simple as it is, where fans aren't stupid. They're not going to see a boring decision, close fight and be like, I want that guy to win the championship. He needs to be in the championship. They'll be like, okay, that was okay.
And not only that, the reason Shavkat isn't getting right now is because he's hurt and needs surgery. His team now says that his team says that he'll be good to go by the summer. But will he be is the actual question. Will he actually be good by the summer? That's only like, what are we in? March, April, May, June, July, August. We'll say August. 5 months. Yeah. Will he be good in 5 months? I don't.
And then it's like,
I don't think
who's
so.
to say he's not? And then it's just like, there's so much to go into MMA, where who's to say that JDM doesn't beat Bilal and then somehow they get tangled up in a rematch, or somehow Shavkat gets hurt again? You know what I'm saying? It's like,
or Bilal does it easily and Bilal wants a quick turnaround.
Yeah, exactly.
Shavkat's not there, so then you have to go Sean Brady. Like, it's
for real. So it's gonna be interesting. They Shavkat, I never thought I'd be saying this, but I'm like, yeah, dude, Shavkat might not deserve a title shot before Sean Brady. I'm like, I never thought I'd be saying that.
Yeah, and definitely does suck that he got hurt, because if he didn't get hurt, first of all, if he didn't get hurt, this doesn't even happen.
Yeah.
Because we're looking at Jack Della Maddalena versus Leon Edwards.
Yeah.
Because that was the fight until Jack got moved and Brady got moved in because of Shavkat. So Shavkat being hurt might have just screwed himself over even more than he thought he did. Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy, dude. It's crazy. The MMA comes at you fast, bro.
And then even that, if Jack Della Maddalena beat Leon Edwards, then he would be next for whoever won between Shavkat and Bilal, and Sean Brady would be way behind. Yeah. And now everything's just turned around. Yeah. So
that's how you make the best out of an opportunity. Sean Brady. That's how it's done, dude. I was very impressed.
Dana, you see what you just did in this division? You see all these title challengers you have in this division is a good thing? Do that in the heavyweight division.
Yeah, for real, please.
Jesus Christ.
For real.
Please, bro. Very, very, very good performance by Sean Brady. And I told Max this. This is our hot take of the week, or my hot take of the week. Sean Brady beats Shavkat. I think he defeats Shavkat.
It's becoming less and less of a hot take as the days go by, for real, dude. It's crazy.
It's the wrestling. It's his style of wrestling. It's like Islam. He has that wrestling that it's like, fuck, this guy, he's going to be on you and you can't get him off of you.
Yeah.
And that's why I think he
and his stand-up's looking better too, dude. I'm like, it's going to be very interesting.
Well, I'll say this. If he's going to go up against Bilal, and this is insane that I even have to say this, but I have to say this. If he's going against Bilal, he really has to work on that striking more, because I don't want to see him get finished by Bilal again.
For real, that'd be so funny, bro.
That'd be embarrassing.
Bro, my Bilal agenda is going strong, bro. I remember I predicted him to be champ way back when me and Brady were doing this. And the agenda is going well.
I think I predicted Shavkat. I think I did.
Yeah, I think so.
And that might have got screwed over now.
For real, bro.
I don't know if Shavkat's going to be champ by the end of 2025 because our predictions was the end of 2025, right?
I think so. Yeah.
And you had Bilal, and he did it. I have Shavkat. It's looking pretty iffy now. It's looking iffy.
For real, bro. So we'll see what happens, dude. What a crazy event.
If his team is legit and he is ready by August,
yeah,
I still might have a chance. But we'll see.
What a crazy main event, dude. Sean Brady just silenced all doubters against him. And just
like I mentioned,
he's the real deal, dude.
Like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, fans were leaving during like the first, second, third round when they realized, holy shit, Leon's getting his ass beat.
Yeah.
They just left. Fans just
after that takedown, I would leave too. I'm like, he's giving up.
If you go there, well, I guess for them it's normal time, but if you go there and you're like ready for Leon Edwards, like you're there for Leon Edwards, and you see him get fucking dominated like that, yeah, I'm going home.
That would be depressing, bro.
I'm going home.
That would be
holy shit. Not only that, then two of your other English fighters got screwed over on the score.
For real, dude.
Oh, brother. That's right.
That would be a rough one.
But we did end up tying 7-6. 7-6.
I know, dude.
I didn't think we were going to tie, but we ended up tying. So there we go. We tied.
Hey, we both are slightly above 500%. So, hey, we'll take it.
Yeah. 58 for me, 67 wins for you.
Hey, we'll take it. Anything above 500, I'm happy, dude. I'm like, if I'm more right than I'm wrong, then I'm doing something right.
100%. But yeah, decent card. I say decent card. There was some fun stuff. Also,
no PKOs is crazy. Okay.
Sean Brady did get the other performance. So it was Sean, Kevin Holland, Shauna, and Thanara. So the two women finishes, and then Sean Brady and Kevin Holland. No Chris Duncan. So and no fight of the night. So interesting there.
Not the best card, but the main event was so crazy it kind of made up for it. Well, I'm like, at least I'll remember that. I'll definitely remember this event 100%. For Leon shooting a takedown on Sean Brady.
And then next week we have another fight night. We're back to back. UFC Fight Night in Mexico.
Let's go.
7 p.m. start time. 7 p.m. start time for us. Well, for me, I should say, Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, Brandon Moreno versus Steve Erceg in the main event. This should be an interesting one. Definitely. Yeah. I don't want to
see how Erceg does.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a title challenger fight because Pantoja did beat them both, but we'll see.
Well, Pantoja is just
a monster. But this should be a really, really, really fun fight because we got a ton of Mexicans on the card. Of course, in Mexico, but they always bring it. We have Manuel Torres versus Drew Dober. Kelvin Gastelum, which is of Mexican descent, despite being from America,
the fuck?
Versus Joe Pyfer. That's going to be a fight. Kelvin Gastelum is a plus 410 underdog. Crazy.
So, the former
this one.
Yeah.
Right here. But yeah, former champ against him, who's coming off a loss, I think.
For real.
Was his last fight the Jack Hermanson fight, I think?
I believe so.
Where he got beat up.
It's been a while since we've seen him, so yeah, I think so.
So yeah, Kelvin Gastelum versus Joe Pyfer. We then have Raul Rosas Jr. versus Vince Morales, which is going to be interesting. I think very grapple heavy in that one. We then have David Martinez versus Simon Oliveira. Should be a solid one. This one is going to be super fun. Ronaldo Rodriguez versus Kevin Borjas. They're going to beat the shit out of each other. The flyweights and their strikers. That's going to be fun.
Guaranteed banger.
Prelims kick off at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on ESPN Plus and ESPN2. We have Edgar Chairez versus CJ Vergara. Another fun one probably right here. Edgar Chairez loves to throw hands, so that's going to be good. We then have Jose Daniel Medina versus Adba Getier. I think I said his last name correctly. Probably not. And then we have the prospect killer, Christian Rodriguez.
Himself
versus Melixel Costas. This guy beat Raul Rosas. Every single Cameron Simon too, right? Every single guy they put in front of him, he beats.
So he just beat that Austin Bashi guy, who's also coming from the Contender Series.
Costa coming off a win, I think he's on a little bit of a roll here. So Christian might have to stop another. Joe, if Christian beats him, we got to get this guy a top contender for real. So we'll see. Then we got some women. Lupi Godinez versus Julian Polastri. Should be solid one there. We have Rafa Garcia versus Vince Pichel. So this should be solid, but all I can think
Vince
about
is
is that
old.
crazy knockout that he got
For
knocked the
real.
hell out. Jamal Emmers versus Gabriel Miranda. We then have kicking off the show, Markel Maduros versus Austin Hubbard. And that is your card. So we actually only have one women's fight in the whole entire card, but should be a banger. This one I'm really looking forward to. This one,
Yeah.
and this one, and this one, and then of course the main event should be good too.
Yeah,
Two
I'm
Dover
excited.
solid. This one should be fun. Yeah, should be decent. Hopefully it doesn't end up like the London card.
Yeah, hopefully the crowd does well. Crazy brings the energy, and then the fighters also bring the energy.
Yeah, we can only hope. But then again, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the prelims and 7 p.m. for the main card. And one more time before we let you go, I have to tell you that we are sponsored by eatshroombar.com. So you can go to eatshroombar.com and get your protein mushroom bars now. No, it's not made with psychedelics, but it does have 4 powerful mushroom adaptogens. Lion's mane, cordyceps, reishi, and turkey tail all in, plus 12 grams of protein. So you can go to eatshroombar.com, use code BODYSLAM at checkout for 25% off your first order. And we will see you next week for UFC in Mexico. Hopefully
Let's
a good
go.
fight. Hopefully we predict things well. This week wasn't too bad. We'll take it. We'll take it.
We'll take it. Anything above 500.
Well, we're looking for something better next week, hopefully, but we'll see. Probably not, especially for me. But yeah,
we got this.
It'll be fun. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe on everything. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X, wherever you listen to this. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Also, you can follow us at Brady Fight Talks, at Combat Combos over here. And then, of course, Body Slam Net MMA on X Live, tweeting and posting articles and stuff. I covered UFC, of course. Then we had Dirty Boxing this Saturday, which was interesting card, interesting rules, fun. We got some knockouts. We then had one championship, 172, which I stayed up for all the way in from – it started at 3 a.m. all the way until 9 a.m. It was a long card, but I watched the whole thing, covered the whole thing over there. It was pretty fun. Rod Tang got the win in the main event in under 2 minutes. Knockout,
Legend.
Crazy. It was Japan versus the world, and Japan lost 3 times. I think they went 8-3. So
not bad.
They have some new Japanese champions over there, and one after some fights. I think there was a women's Japanese fighter lost. The main event, Takeru lost to Rod Tang, and then there was another on the prelims that lost. Everyone else won. Fun card. And then we have UFC coming up again next week, and then again, I think, and then another pay-per-view, 314. So should be fun. Should be fun. Volkanovski Lopez. Hell yeah.
I'm hyped for that one.
Me too. That whole card's crazy. But yeah, make sure to like, comment, subscribe everywhere. And yeah, thanks for listening. And we will see you next week. I'm not going to say Sunday or Monday anymore because we never know. Could be Sunday, could be Monday. But we will see you after Saturday. We'll see you. But yeah, thanks for listening, watching, all that stuff. And peace.